Have you ever noticed how a single comment from the wrong person can ruin your entire day? One sentence, one look, one rejection, one betrayal. And suddenly your mind becomes a battlefield. You replay conversations that ended hours ago. You imagine arguments that never happened. You create scenarios in your head where you finally say the perfect thing, where you finally prove your worth, where people finally understand your value. But they never do. And while you're trapped in your thoughts, life keeps moving. The people who hurt you move on. The people who doubted you continue living their lives. The people who ignored your efforts sleep peacefully at night. Yet somehow, you are the one carrying the burden. You are the one losing your peace. You are the one paying the emotional price. This is the hidden tragedy of modern life. Most people are not controlled by chains. They are controlled by emotions. Controlled by the opinions of strangers. Controlled by criticism. Controlled by rejection. Controlled by the desperate need for approval. And perhaps the most painful part is that many people spend their entire lives believing this is normal. They believe suffering is the price of caring. They believe anxiety is the cost of ambition. They believe emotional pain is simply part of being human. But thousands of years ago, the Stoics discovered something extraordinary. They discovered that there is another way to live. A way of living where your peace cannot be stolen. A way of thinking where insults lose their power. A way of existing where rejection no longer destroys your confidence. A way of becoming emotionally untouchable. Not cold. Not heartless. Not indifferent. But strong. Strong enough to remain calm when others lose control. Strong enough to stay focused when distractions surround you. Strong enough to protect your inner world from the chaos of the outer one. And today, you are about to discover that secret. Before we begin, if you're someone who is committed to personal growth, inner strength, and mastering your mind, make sure you subscribe to this channel and join a community of people who are choosing wisdom over weakness and discipline over distraction. Now let's begin. Imagine for a moment that your mind is a fortress. A massive fortress built on a mountain. Strong walls. Solid foundations. Unshakable defenses. Inside that fortress exists your peace. Your confidence. Your purpose. Your happiness. Now imagine that every day, people try to enter that fortress. Some arrive with criticism. Some arrive with insults. Some arrive with rejection. Some arrive with manipulation. Some arrive with disappointment. And every time you allow them to determine how you feel, it is as if you open the gates and invite them inside. You hand them the keys. You give them permission to control your emotional state. You surrender your power. The Stoics understood something most people never learn. Nobody can truly harm your inner peace without your participation. Read that again in your mind. Nobody can truly harm your inner peace without your participation. The world can challenge you. Life can test you. People can disappoint you. But whether those experiences destroy your peace depends on how you interpret them. This idea changed everything for the Stoics. Because they realized that events themselves are rarely the problem. The problem is often the story we attach to those events. Someone ignores your message. The event is neutral. But then your mind begins speaking. They don't respect me. They don't care about me. I'm not important. I'm being rejected. And suddenly a simple event becomes emotional suffering. Not because of what happened, but because of the meaning you assign to it. This is why two people can experience the exact same situation and react completely differently. One person sees failure and gives up. Another sees failure and grows stronger. One person hears criticism and collapses. Another hears criticism and improves. One person experiences rejection and loses confidence. Another experiences rejection and discovers freedom. The difference is not the event. The difference is perception. And perception can be trained. The Stoics trained their minds the same way athletes train their bodies. Every day. Every challenge. Every setback. Every disappointment became an opportunity to strengthen emotional resilience. Because they understood something profound. A calm mind is not born. It is built. And building it requires courage. Real courage. Not the courage to fight others, but the courage to master yourself. The courage to stop seeking validation from people who cannot even validate themselves. The courage to walk away from toxic environments. The courage to accept what you cannot control. The courage to focus on what you can. Many people spend years trying to control the behavior of others. They want people to understand them, appreciate them, respect them, agree with them, support them. But this pursuit is endless. You cannot control another person's mind. You cannot force someone to value you. You cannot demand respect. You cannot manufacture loyalty. The harder you try, the more frustrated you become. The Stoics offered a different path. Stop chasing control where none exists. Invest your energy where it matters. Your thoughts. Your actions. Your character. Your response. Your growth. This is where real power lies. Think about the strongest person you know. Not the loudest. Not the richest. Not the most famous. The strongest. Chances are they possess a certain calmness. A certain steadiness. A certain ability to remain composed under pressure. That strength did not appear overnight. It was forged. Forged through hardship. Forged through disappointment. Forged through pain. Every challenge became a teacher. Every setback became a lesson. Every loss became a source of wisdom. And this is the secret most people miss. Pain is not your enemy. Unexamined pain is. Pain can transform you. Pain can awaken you. Pain can reveal strengths you never knew existed. But only if you stop running from it. Most people spend their lives avoiding discomfort. Avoiding difficult conversations. Avoiding rejection. Avoiding failure. Avoiding uncertainty. But the things we avoid often become the things that control us. The Stoics faced discomfort directly. They understood that growth lives on the other side of resistance. Every challenge carries a gift. Every obstacle contains a lesson. Every hardship presents an opportunity to become stronger. And when you begin to see life through this lens, something remarkable happens. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" And you start asking, "What is this teaching me?" That single shift changes everything. Victims ask why. Stoics ask what. What can I learn? What can I improve? What can I control? What kind of person can I become because of this experience? Suddenly suffering becomes transformation. Suddenly obstacles become opportunities. Suddenly setbacks become stepping stones. And this is where emotional invincibility begins. Not when life becomes easier, but when you become stronger. Not when people stop criticizing you, but when criticism loses its ability to control you. Not when rejection disappears, but when rejection no longer defines your worth. Because your worth was never determined by external approval. Your worth was never dependent on applause. Your worth was never tied to recognition. You were valuable before they noticed you. You were valuable before they believed in you. You were valuable before they supported you. And you will remain valuable even if they never do. The moment you truly understand this, you become dangerous to every force that once controlled you. Because manipulation requires emotional dependence. Control requires insecurity. Exploitation requires self-doubt. When you know your value, these forces begin to lose their grip. You stop begging for attention. You stop chasing validation. You stop shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. You stop abandoning your standards to gain acceptance. And for the first time, you begin living authentically. Not for approval. Not for applause. Not for recognition. But because it aligns with your values. Because it reflects your character. Because it honors who you are becoming. The Stoics believe that character is the only true possession nobody can take from you. Money can disappear. Status can vanish. Relationships can end. Opportunities can fade. But character remains. Character follows you through every season of life. It becomes your anchor in uncertainty. Your compass in confusion. Your strength in adversity. And when character becomes your foundation, the opinions of others begin to lose their power. Because you no longer measure yourself by external standards. You measure yourself by internal principles. You ask different questions. Did I act with integrity? Did I remain true to my values? Did I respond with wisdom? Did I demonstrate courage? Did I grow? These questions create freedom. Because their answers belong to you. Not society. Not strangers. Not critics. You. And that is the beginning of becoming emotionally untouchable. Not because life stops hurting, but because you stop giving your emotional power away. You stop handing your peace to people who have not earned it. You stop allowing temporary events to dictate permanent emotions. You stop living as a prisoner of circumstances. Instead, you become the guardian of your inner world. And when that happens, everything changes. The storms still come. But they no longer destroy you. The criticism still arrives. But it no longer defines you. The setbacks still happen. But they no longer break you. Because your strength is no longer dependent on favorable conditions. It comes from within. And anything that comes from within can never be taken away by the outside world. There comes a moment in every person's life when they realize that no one is coming to rescue them. Not the people who promised they would stay. Not the friends who said they understood. Not the world that constantly tells them happiness is just one achievement away. There comes a moment when you look around and understand that if you do not take responsibility for your own peace, nobody else will. This realization can feel painful at first. But hidden inside that pain is freedom. Because the moment you stop expecting others to carry your emotional weight is the moment you begin developing real strength. Think about how much energy people spend waiting. Waiting for an apology. Waiting for recognition. Waiting for appreciation. Waiting for justice. Waiting for someone to finally understand how much they have been hurt. Years pass. Sometimes decades. And while they wait, life quietly slips away. Their happiness remains trapped behind conditions. I'll be happy when they apologize. I'll be happy when they respect me. I'll be happy when they admit they were wrong. The Stoics saw the danger in this way of living. Because it places your emotional well-being in someone else's hands. And that is one of the most dangerous things a person can do. Imagine giving a stranger the keys to your home. Most people would never do that. Yet every day, people hand strangers the keys to their emotions. A rude comment ruins their day. A negative opinion destroys their confidence. A rejection crushes their self-worth. A betrayal steals their peace. The stranger walks away unaffected. But the emotional damage remains. Why? Because permission was given. Permission for someone else's actions to determine internal peace. The Stoics refused to live this way. They understood that emotional freedom begins when you reclaim ownership of your inner world. When you decide that your peace is too valuable to be controlled by circumstances. Too valuable to be controlled by criticism. Too valuable to be controlled by people who have not mastered themselves. And here is a truth many people struggle to accept. Most criticism is not really about you. It is about the person giving it. People see the world through the lens of their own experiences. Their fears. Their insecurities. Their frustrations. Their limitations. A jealous person sees arrogance where confidence exists. An insecure person sees threats where none exist. A negative person sees problems where opportunities live. A fearful person sees danger where courage is required. Their judgments often reveal more about them than they do about you. Yet millions of people spend their lives trying to correct every misunderstanding. Trying to explain themselves to everyone. Trying to make everyone like them. Trying to defend every decision. Trying to win every argument. And in doing so, they exhaust themselves. The Stoics knew a secret. You do not have to attend every battle you are invited to. Some arguments are not worth your energy. Some criticisms are not worth your attention. Some people are committed to misunderstanding you. And no amount of explanation will change that. When you truly understand this, a profound calm enters your life. You stop trying to control narratives. You stop obsessing over opinions. You stop chasing universal approval. Because you realize something extraordinary. Even the greatest people in history were criticized. The wisest were criticized. The kindest were criticized. The strongest were criticized. The most successful were criticized. If greatness could not protect them from judgment, why do you believe it will protect you? Criticism is not proof that you are failing. Often it is proof that you are visible. Proof that you are moving. Proof that you are doing something that attracts attention. The goal is not to avoid criticism. The goal is to avoid becoming emotionally dependent on it. There is a powerful image from Stoic philosophy. Imagine standing beside a raging river. The water rushes past with incredible force. Leaves float by. Branches float by. Debris floats by. Now imagine trying to stop every object moving downstream. It would be impossible. Exhausting. Foolish. Yet this is exactly how many people treat their thoughts. Every negative thought appears and they fight it. Every fear appears and they panic. Every insecurity appears and they believe it. The Stoics taught something different. Observe. Do not immediately react. Observe. Let the thought pass like water moving downstream. Not every thought deserves your attention. Not every emotion deserves your obedience. Not every fear deserves your belief. You can acknowledge an emotion without becoming controlled by it. You can feel anger without becoming anger. You can feel sadness without becoming sadness. You can feel fear without becoming fear. This distinction changes everything. Because most suffering comes from identification. People do not simply experience emotions. They become consumed by them. They become prisoners of temporary states. A bad moment becomes a bad day. A bad day becomes a bad month. A bad month becomes a bad year. Not because circumstances demanded it, but because they surrendered their identity to passing emotions. The emotionally untouchable person understands that emotions are visitors. They arrive. They stay for a while. Then they leave. No emotion is permanent. No storm lasts forever. No pain remains unchanged. Everything passes. The challenge is learning to remain grounded while it does. And perhaps nowhere is this lesson more important than in relationships. Many people enter relationships hoping another person will complete them. Heal them. Fix them. Save them. The result is often disappointment. Because no human being can permanently provide what must be built internally. A relationship can enrich your life. But it cannot become your foundation. A friendship can support your journey. But it cannot become your identity. Love can inspire you. But it cannot replace self-respect. The Stoics believe that emotional independence creates healthier relationships. Because when you stop needing people to validate your existence, you become capable of loving them freely. Without desperation. Without attachment to outcomes. Without fear of abandonment controlling your actions. You appreciate people while understanding they are temporary. You value connections while accepting they may change. You love deeply while remaining rooted in yourself. This is not detachment from people. It is attachment to wisdom. And wisdom understands one unavoidable truth. Everything in life is temporary. Every season changes. Every circumstance evolves. Every person eventually leaves, either through distance, choice, or time itself. Most people resist this reality. They cling. They grasp. They fight against change. The Stoics accepted it. Not because they enjoyed loss, but because they understood reality cannot be negotiated. Fighting reality only creates additional suffering. Acceptance creates peace. Think about a tree during a storm. The strongest trees are not always the most rigid. Often they are the most flexible. They bend. They adapt. They move with the wind. And because they adapt, they survive. Human beings are no different. Emotional strength is not rigidity. It is adaptability. It is the ability to remain grounded while circumstances change. It is the ability to remain calm while uncertainty unfolds. It is the ability to trust yourself regardless of what happens next. This trust is essential. Because many people secretly do not trust themselves. They trust perfect conditions. They trust guarantees. They trust certainty. But life offers very few guarantees. Life is uncertain by nature. The Stoics embraced this uncertainty. They understood that courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is moving forward despite fear. Confidence is not knowing everything will work out. Confidence is trusting yourself even if things do not. The emotionally untouchable person does not walk through life expecting perfection. They expect challenges. They expect setbacks. They expect obstacles. And because they expect them, they are not destroyed when they arrive. Instead of asking why life is difficult, they understand difficulty is part of the human experience. Instead of asking why obstacles exist, they recognize obstacles are opportunities to strengthen character. Instead of asking why pain appears, they ask what wisdom pain is offering. This mindset creates resilience. Not the fragile resilience that depends on motivation, but the durable resilience built through understanding. Because motivation fades. Feelings change. Circumstances fluctuate. But principles endure. And the Stoics lived by principles. Principles stronger than emotions. Principles stronger than comfort. Principles stronger than fear. One of those principles was this: become so focused on your own growth that you no longer have time to obsess over the opinions of others. Think about how much life changes when your energy shifts from proving yourself to improving yourself. Suddenly comparisons lose their power. Jealousy weakens. Resentment fades. Your attention returns to the only life you can truly influence, your own. And that is where transformation begins. Not out there. Not in someone else's behavior. Not in someone else's approval. But within you. Within your thoughts. Within your habits. Within your daily choices. Every day you are becoming someone. The question is who? Are you becoming stronger? Or more dependent? More disciplined? Or more distracted? More peaceful? Or more reactive? More focused? Or more controlled by external noise? These questions matter because your future is being built right now. Not tomorrow. Not next month. Right now. In the thoughts you repeatedly entertain. In the habits you repeatedly practice. In the standards you repeatedly accept. The Stoics understood that greatness is rarely created through dramatic moments. It is created through small daily victories. The decision to remain calm. The decision to remain disciplined. The decision to remain kind despite disappointment. The decision to maintain integrity despite temptation. These choices seem small. But repeated over time, they transform a person. They transform identity itself. And eventually something remarkable happens. The things that once shook you no longer have the same effect. The insults lose power. The criticism loses power. The rejection loses power. The fear loses power. Not because the world changed. Because you changed. You became stronger than the forces that once controlled you. You became wiser than the thoughts that once imprisoned you. You became calmer than the chaos surrounding you. And perhaps most importantly, you stopped seeking your value in places where it could never truly be found. You found it within yourself. You discovered that peace was never something the world could give you. It was something you cultivated. Something you protected. Something you earned through discipline, awareness, and wisdom. And once discovered, it becomes one of the most valuable treasures a human being can possess. Because a peaceful mind cannot be purchased. It cannot be borrowed. It cannot be gifted. It must be built. One thought. One choice. One challenge at a time. And the beautiful truth is that every challenge you face today is helping build that peace. Every setback. Every disappointment. Every rejection. Every obstacle. They are not merely happening to you. They are shaping you. Strengthening you. Preparing you. Forging you into someone capable of standing firm while the world shakes around them. Someone capable of remaining calm while others panic. Someone capable of protecting their peace when chaos arrives. Someone emotionally untouchable. And that journey is only beginning. As we come to the end of this journey, remember this. The goal of Stoicism is not to make you emotionless. It is to make you unshakable. It is not about building walls around your heart. It is about building strength within it. Life will continue to test you. People will still misunderstand you. Some will doubt you. Some will criticize you. Some will walk away. And there will be days when the weight of the world feels heavier than you can carry. But now you know the secret. Your peace does not belong to them. Your confidence does not belong to them. Your happiness does not belong to them. Your worth does not belong to them. It never did. The power you've been searching for has always been within you. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to strengthen your character. Every setback is a chance to build resilience. Every disappointment is a lesson in emotional mastery. And every difficult moment is an invitation to become the strongest version of yourself. So the next time life tries to shake you, remember who you are becoming. Remember that storms do not last forever. Remember that your mind is stronger than your circumstances. Remember that true power is not found in controlling others, but in mastering yourself. Walk forward with courage. Walk forward with wisdom. Walk forward knowing that no matter what happens around you, you have the ability to remain calm, focused, and at peace within. Become the person who cannot be manipulated by fear. Become the person who cannot be controlled by criticism. Become the person who refuses to surrender their peace to the opinions of others. Become emotionally untouchable. If this video inspired you, take a moment right now to subscribe to the channel and join this growing community of people committed to wisdom, self-mastery, and personal growth. And if you know someone who is struggling with emotional pain, overthinking, anxiety, toxic relationships, or the weight of other people's opinions, share this video with them. It may be exactly what they need to hear today. Leave a comment below and tell us, what is one Stoic lesson that has changed your life? Thank you for watching. Keep growing. Keep learning. Keep mastering your mind. And remember, the greatest victory you will ever achieve is not over another person. It is over yourself.